Greetings, Rob. Welcome to Horsehead Bookends for another Gaming Friday. I think I am done with things coming in for now, so finally I can get back to recording some playthroughs and reviews. And today we are going to do one of a game that I really enjoyed when it first came out, and this is a re-implementation of it, and that is Hoplomachus Victorum by Chip Theory Games. Hoplomachus Victorum is a solo game only. It's one player. You play the role of a gladiator who travels the land going to different blood sports and sporting events where you can do a King of the Hill or have a sparring event, and you play through the game in 4 different acts. The way to trigger the end of each act is to beat the champion in one of the lands. That are 3 of them are randomly decided, and then you have one final boss, which is the Scion that you fight before the end of Act 4, who gets increasingly powerful as you travel the land and doing all these battles. This is actually a very big, epic game. It is a re-implementation of Hoplomachus Origins, which came out back in 2015. I really did enjoy their original Hoplomachus games. They did 2 new versions. They have Victorum, and then they have Remastered. Remastered is more of a skirmish game, which I didn't decide to pick up, but I got this. I have it set up on the table, and we're going to check it out right now. Here we have Hoplomachus Victorum set up for a solo game. Right now we are using the basic setup or the beginner setup. In the how to play manual, they tell you exactly which enemies to set up, which Scion to set up. The first thing you'll notice is the table presence of this game. It is awesome. The chips are great, the neoprene mats are great. You actually, where we're starting right now is we are starting in the country of the Atlanteans, but you also have all of these extra maps for different locations. And they're all, the different countries are listed across the bottom of this map right here. And these are also double-sided. That's Vesuvius right there. And they all do different special things. For example, in Atlantis, in the center, we have a trident. If you get to the center of the map, you can pick up the trident and throw it to anyone on the map, causing 2 damage. You also do get a sheet of unit skills right here. Alright, let me point out some things on the board right now. We have the map down here with your little token. This is where you move from location to location, participating in different events. We have bloodshed events, and we have sport events. Now, bloodshed event, you're required to kill everyone on the map. In a sporting event, you necessarily do not want to do that. You have different sporting events. Sometimes it's a spar, sometimes it's a King of the Hill. Other times you need to complete what it says on the card, and they are listed out here in the stadium seating is what they call this. We have the sport events over here, bloodshed events over there, and your opportunities in the middle. You get the chance to get different opportunities, which you can sort of see them off camera. Over here on the side are special moves that your champion has. My champion is right here. It is, as soon as it would focus in, I'm using Kraken Lance right now. You'll also notice I have this little neoprene mat. It's a tracker. It shows you your health, how your attack range, how many dice you can have during an attack. They do give you this little notepad that you can take notes on, which is the same as this. I thought that was a little nicer. I also do have the premium health chips from Chip Theory Games because I also tend to like them as well, and the premium bag. In the bag are different units. As units get killed, they will go into the bag and you have to randomly draw them. And also, just like the original Hoplomachus game, everything is based on different dice combat. All the different dice have different hit ratios. For example, I think the yellow die, there's only 2 hits out of 6 sides, where you have a red die which hits on every side. In the back of the instruction book, it actually tells you what your champion gets, what they start with, and everything. So I did that right there. He also starts with an archer, attacker, and a defender, and their stats are listed actually right on the chip themselves. On the hero chips, on one side, you do have the picture of your champion, and on the other, it actually does have some information, but that's primarily used when you have to fight them. If this is the champion you're using, you don't refer to this, you refer to what's in the book. We are set up for a game, so let's start. Let's move these dice out of the way. Just put them here for now. There are 3 phases to the game: the travel phase, the event phase, and the cleanup phase. First step, the travel phase. What we need to do is we just move our token from one location to another. We start at the capital city, and there are very faint dotted lines that show the different connections from location to location. So from here, we can either do a sport event or we can do a bloodshed event, looking at the cards that are face up. I think we're going to try a bloodshed event because it seems easier than what we need to do for the sport event. So we will move there, and now it is the event phase. 1 or 2 things. We can accept or we can spectate. Spectate is the way that you actually get to rest and heal. When you spectate, you draw the top 3 cards of the deck, you rearrange them to put them back, and you also gain Scion Influence. Now the Scion Influence tracker is on the map down here. Every time you get to one of the end of the top influence, you have to add a Scion Bane chip, which are the black chips right there, into the bag, which you can draw, and they normally make the game a little harder. So let's take a look at the Bloodshed card and we'll see what is required. It is Unholy Strength, and we have to double the attack of all units. You see what the opponent starts with. They start with a leader and 2 soldiers, and I start with my hero and 3 soldiers. So let's get that set up right now. Since we are in the Atlanteans, we would take, well, I never shuffled these up when I put them, when I place them down, so we'll give them a quick shuffle. And there, our leader is Rotarius, who is a tactician. So maybe you can't see that. There you go. And now we have to choose 2 more soldiers, and they come from the bag here. We have an attacker, and we have another tactician. The card doesn't state any tactics, so we don't have to use any. Once we have everything set up for the armies that are going to be in battle, now we have to do the deployment phase. The deployment phase starts one at a time, starting with the opponent, and they actually get deployed on the neoprene mat. They have little numbers, 1, 2, and 3, of where they go. So we're going to start that right now with the leader. He has a health of 3. And he gets deployed in the number 1 slot. There's no tactics. Next is the movement phase. Everyone that you deploy has summoning sickness, kind of like magic. You can't move on the turn you were deployed unless something counteracts that. This person does have tactical, so he can move. So what we're going to do is, on this little reference sheet that tell you all about the Atlanteans, not only they show you what it does right here. I hope that's in focus. They show you what the trident does. It shows what local units do, and it also gives you movement commands as to what you're supposed to do. So for example, since he has to move, he has to go to the flag holder first, then to the unequipped trident, then the opponent with trident, and then the furthest opponent. And when they say furthest opponent, it means the furthest opponent that is still within attack range. So there's no flag holder. There is an unequipped trident because there's no opponents out yet. So we're going to move towards the unequipped trident. And he has a movement speed of 1. So we're going to move him right here. Oh, I'm sorry, he has a movement speed of 3. So he's going to move right onto that, and he's going to grab that trident. So now that I know he has the trident, On his next round, he's going to throw it at me. So I need someone who's going to be a little strong. So I think I am going to put out the defender first. I'm going to put out a defender with a health of 5. And we'll put him right there. Since there's really nothing else he can do, my turn's over. Oh, I can do a tactic placement, which is not going to do anything this turn. I can move, which I can't move. I don't have, my ability is taunt. It's not going to do anything. And I can engage. I can't engage the enemy. So now it is my rival's turn. So first thing, deployment. The attacker goes out. Since no one is in the 1 spot, he will go right there. Can't do anything. Now movement. So I need to move to the strongest opponent based on his movement AI. Abilities, tactical, and he has hook, but because he's right next to him, he's not going to use the hook, and he's actually going to throw the trident at the defender for 2 life. Oh, because he is a local, he actually does 3 damage. So, 3 damage. Now it's my turn to deploy. Now I can, let's see what we're going to do. Because we really kind of got to kill that guy, because he's hurting my defender quite a bit. Alright, so what we're going to do right now, we're going to put out the archer over here. Now the archer has a health of 2, he also has a range of 2, but he also has first strike, meaning he does not have summoning sickness, he can attack as soon as he comes out. And we're going to do some tactic placements. I think we're going to add stun to... Do I want a stun? Yes, we are going to add a stun to him. So he's now stunned. He cannot move or attack next turn, just in case I don't kill him. And movement, I am not going to move. Abilities, we're going to use first strike. So I have to roll a black and a yellow. And all attacks do double damage. I got 2, I hit him for 4. He's dead. So this guy can go face down over there. My tactic gets discarded. And now it is my turn to attack. And I am actually going to throw the spear over at this attacker for 2 damage. And now, since he's not dead, he does pick up the spear. Now it is the rival's turn. They are putting out their tactician. He has 2 health, movement 1, attack of 1, but he also attacks with a red die, meaning he always hits. So even though it's 1 damage, it's always going to be 2 damage. Let's see what we can do. Tactic placement, no tactics, movement. Okay, he is going to move 2 to the center right there. And he, abilities, retaliate. He's not next to anything, but he is going to throw the spear at the defender because he is the strongest right now. And the defender is actually going to die, which kind of stinks in a bloodshed event because he is not coming back. And the trident stays right there. So now it is my turn, and it's deployment. I am deploying my champion right on top of where the trident is, and using some of my tactics, well, not my tactics, using some of my special abilities. I have something called Grand Entrance. So as soon as Kraken Lance is deployed, I get to roll some extra yellow dice to do some damage. So let's do that. Also, Kraken Lance has Tactical and Inspire. Tactical means I can move immediately. I may or may not do that. Alright, so first things first, let's roll 2 yellow dice and see if I get some bonus. Alright, I hit for 1. So let's hit that guy for 1. He's dead. And tactic placement. I am actually going to give adrenaline to the archer so I can get in range of this tactician. So now my archer can move 2. So he's going to move 2. 1, 2. And we are going to shoot our arrow at the tactician. Hopefully that we will hit him. So we got a black and a yellow. And again, we do double damage. 1, so he gets hit for 2. He only has 2 life, and he's dead. That's the end of battle. I was victorious. Now we're going to do the cleanup phase. Since we did a battle, we have to go up 1 week. It took a week to do that battle, that bloodshed. And since we were successful, we can do 1 or 2 things. We can add or upgrade a die, or we can add health or leadership. Since I'm rolling with 3 dice, I think I'm actually going to add a die. So I'll roll with 4 since it's the start of the game. Now I need to clean up everyone who's died in turn because this was lethal combat, because of the bloodshed. Everyone who's died goes into the bag. So I did lose a defender, and the enemy team lost an attacker, a tactician, and Rotarius, who would actually be good on my team, but they are now in the bag to get drawn again. If this was a non-lethal combat, we could have recruited anyone that we've defeated, but since we it was lethal, they all died. So we can take the bloodshed card, put it in the back. We can clear our... Oh, that tactic was used and goes away. And we can remove him from play. After that, we're back at the beginning, back at the travel phase. Rounds go pretty quick, sometimes. And it's a really good tactical strategy game, and I've been enjoying it so much. Let's head back to the office and talk about it. Okay, so that was Hoplomachus Victorum by Chip Theory Games. I have to say that this is probably one of the most enjoyable solo games I have played in a very, very long time. The gameplay is fun. Going to do different things, the bloodshed events and the sporting events. There is so much variety in what you have to do, and all the different maps the content is just unbelievable. So let's do some quick pros and cons. Pros: table presence, amazing. Gameplay, amazing. Quality of the game itself is amazing as well. But it is Chip Theory Games. So let's go to some of the cons. The components of the game. They're so good, it jacks up the price of the game. It's not a cheap game, but it is Chip Theory Games. You know exact, and I've said this in, I think, in Too Many Bones video. It's Chip Theory Games. You know exactly what you're getting when you buy it. The components are top notch, and it's great. The only other con is the rule book. It's not organized the best, and sometimes you're going to find yourself jumping back and forth trying to find some information. It's all there. It just takes a little while to figure out certain things, especially if you have some questions. However, the rules forum on Board Game Geek has been a huge source of information, because I've had to reference it quite a few times during my first few playthroughs, but now that I get it, I know exactly where to look it up in the instructions, or I just committed what you needed to do to memory, because everything does make sense as you play the game. So I really enjoy this one, and I'm going to be playing it a whole lot. So if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, please don't forget to click on subscribe, ring the notification bell. You'll get notified anytime I upload a new video. Questions or comments, feel free to post them below, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Otherwise, talk to you later.